Welcome to another episode of Life and Whiskey. As always, I am Jordan. Today we are going to look at Ballyhoo. Now, I will admit this was an impulse buy. Ballyhoo, kind of an inside joke amongst my wife and myself, but it also is kind of hilarious. The joke kind of plays off of if you watch Good Will Hunting, the first psychologist before Robin Williams enters the guy, sitting there going, his British accent, whatever else. There will be no more tomfoolery or ballyhoo or whatever he says, and something like that. And so I don't know. It's just kind of a standing joke in my family. So I saw this on the shelf and I was like, hey, that's interesting. Now I will give it the labeling and the bottle is very nice. The one negative is if you look at the thumbnail or the picture for this, I could not get this to photograph well because of all of the different highlights coming off of the lettering and stuff. I couldn't get my camera to focus very well, so it might be a little bit blurry. Sorry about that, but it does look really nice, really sharp, good clean label. That's probably how you know that there's something in there that's maybe not the greatest. It's finished in port casks. That was the other thing. So my Irish whiskey collection is extremely small because I'm not really a big fan of Irish whiskey. The only one that I kind of have my stamp of approval for is Connemara because it is peated, and of all things, the Jameson Stout Cast Finish one actually pretty decent. But anything that's finished, I'm willing to take a stab at. And so I thought, well, this would be a way to jump categories into something that I don't have very many bottles of, and also have potential to be something that I really enjoy, seemingly how it is finished. Now, it says man, it's hard to read this even because of the highlights. The Connacht, Connacht Whiskey Company Ltd. Makers of craft Irish spirits, and then it says it is imported by Park Street Imports, Miami, Florida. So, that doesn't really mean a whole lot to me, so maybe it means something to you. This is ringing in at 43% ABV or 86 proof. Like I said, Irish whiskey finished in port casks. I haven't even entered this into the computer yet, but I picked this up for $27.69. So it's not breaking the bank by any stretch. There was another one there. I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head. Slane, maybe? Was it Slane Irish whiskey? Something like that. But it was triple cast finish. It was American oak, ex bourbon, and Amaros. Some kind of sherry. I don't remember what kind of sherry it was. And that also kind of piqued my interest, and that was also like $25 or $29, something like that. So, depending on how this one goes, I might roll the dice and give that one a try as well. Triple cast, at least, that gives it 3 opportunities to pick up some flavors that I find enjoyable and to be something more than just, metallic vanilla. And I don't know. I find Irish whiskey to be very plain, very simple, kind of on the back end of it, like proofy, and like Canadian whiskey and Irish whiskey seem to share a lot in common. Now, does this say anything about being the single grain Irish whiskey finished in port cask? Single grain, boy, this is how bad I am. I need to go back and find out if single grain means if there's a difference in single grain or single malt. Now that is already starting off on a poor note. That is super light honeyed. I mean, this almost looks like a Riesling wine or something like that. Smells a little proofy. Let me see what this Connemara is. Peated single malt Irish whiskey. Okay, so single grain or single malt. I'm gonna have to look into that and figure out what the differences are. But I would say on the nose, you can smell the ethanol. It has a bit of like nail polish remover smell to it. There's some fruit, like the sherry fruitness is coming through on the back end. A little bit of malty vanilla in there. Pretty deep in there, but it like a white grape raisin. That's gotta be that sherry in there. Boy, I almost got like a pineapple, and all the while it has a very nostril stinging ethanol forward approach. Like it's very proofy. Young, it smells pretty young. It's pretty bright and shiny in there. Does it have an age statement on here? Red tawny port is what it's finished in. Oh, I hate doing this because I'm reading flavor notes. I do not see an age statement in here at all. So this, to my knowledge, could just be you know, 6 months. Boy, like Scotch has to be at least 3 years old. I do not know if there is an age requirement to be Irish whiskey. For some reason, 2 years rings a bell, but I don't know if that's true or not. Let's assume that's true. This is 2 years old, or maybe it's younger. I don't know. It smells young. Boy, I should actually do a little bit of research, I think. But in any case, it's very bright, very shiny, very youthful in the nose, very bitey on the nose, very ethanol-y. Especially for 86. This smells a lot hotter than 86 proof. But then there's this like white raisin, plum, almost like a cherry cordial. Interesting. I think the tawny port brings way more to this than the actual whiskey itself. Again, it says single grain whiskey. I don't know if that just means that it's just like corn ethanol, or if it's barley or wheat or rye or malted barley. I don't know, but it also doesn't say single malt. So, but it says single grain. I'll have to look that up. All right, going in on the taste. Still pretty Irishy. I actually do like it up front. The more I sit with it, the less I enjoy it. So up front, it's kind of has it's like it. Oh man, how do you describe it? It's like creamy, but has that ethanol nail polish remover where it wants to cling to your tongue like a creamy, viscous oiliness, but then it's like immediately being washed off by this ethanol that thins it out. But it's like a malty sweetness that kind of carries forward through those first, I don't know, 2, 3 beats. That mid palate picks up with a malty sweetness, and then immediately this heavy, heavy, heavy ethanol bite comes forward and just smacks you around. It drinks like a blended Irish whiskey, like a blended Scotch or a Canadian whiskey. So it says single grain. I'm wondering if this is not just like column stilled through the roof, all the flavor stripped out, and this is practically vodka that then got stuck into a tawny port barrel, and the tawny port is doing all of the heavy lifting of the flavor characteristics of this. Because on the back end, I do get that metallic, bitey sharpness of which I get with a lot of Irish whiskey, but also with Canadian whiskey. Um, and with the blended scotches that have a high proportion of grain whiskey in with them. Again, I don't know any of this. I have not looked into any of this, but just going off of what I smell and what I taste, those are my presumptions because that's what's coming out of this. So it has some nice characteristics to it, like that tawny port is bringing some plum, some dark fruit, that raisin, but it's like a white grape raisin kind of in there. Um, Kind of a Slivovitz type uh, flavor characteristic, but all of that is immediately overshadowed by this bitey, proofy alcohol ethanol bite. Not because it's high proof, but it definitely drinks a lot hotter than what it is. Um, the nose hasn't changed really. And in the background, I kind of get this malty funk like you do out of some scotches, like a Highland Park kind of scotch. But it's like this play of malt and fruit and ethanol. We'll go back in. I'll see if I can describe it a little bit better as we're going through. Yeah, creamy, malty forward. And then that gets just ripped off your tongue by ethanol. There's almost like a little bit of a cherry in there. I might call it like a baking spice, like a clove almost. Um, and then just ethanol. And that ethanol, like, it's almost like there was, this much tawny port still sitting in the barrel when they dumped some grain alcohol into it and just decided to let it ride. And that very well may be what they did. I don't really know. Do I like it? Not as a neat pour. I have to like I'd have to really be in the mood for something like this. Could I mix this? Yes, I think this would make an awesome mule or I don't know, pretty much anything you put Jameson in, you could put this in and turn it up a notch because the port brings a lot different characteristic than what Jameson does. Jameson is just that metallic vanilla cookie, um, shortbread cookie note, and ethanol. And this is like one step past that. It brings like one more layer to it, but pretty light. For what it is good. But what it is, I do not know. Like I said, it was on a whim. It was a marketing play that got me. You gotta admit, it's got a really nice label. It's got a really nice branding logo. It looks good, and just for the sheer um, comedy of it, air conditioning just kicked on because today, if you didn't know, August 16th, 2023, it's like 100 degrees out right now, and for the next several days, it's going to be 100 degrees. Smoke rolled in this morning. The mountains aren't visible. Smoke rolled in from Canada. This is like the first smoky day we've had this month, so I can't gripe too much, but it's definitely hot, smoky, a little bit breezy. Kind of feels like a convection oven outside. And the next couple of days, it's supposed to be just like this. There's not a cloud in the sky. So AC is working overtime. So hopefully that's not drowning me out here. As the cameras and the microphone's only 6 feet from the air conditioning, from the fan blower in the furnace. But you know what? I don't know what to say. It's not terrible. If you're a fan of light Irish whiskeys, you might want to check this out. As far as depth of flavor and character, there's not a lot there, but it's also only $27. I think you could do a lot with it, but it definitely goes into the realm of all the other Irish whiskeys that I have that I all like Proper 12, Standard Jameson, Middleton. I mean, like it's amazing. So I've had, I think Yellow Spot. I've had, oh gosh, what's it called? Castle Kegu or something like that. My stepdad has that one. That one's a malt. To me, it doesn't seem to matter what the price tag is on them. They're all pretty much in the same boat. And I'm not a huge fan of Irish whiskey, unfortunately. I've had Redbreast. I've had the 12. I think I've had a 23. I've had something with a large age statement on it from Redbreast. Um, I've had Green Spot, Yellow Spot. I don't know which other ones I've had, and then like the low college ones, the Jameson Bushmills. Um, what else have I had? I had oh, what is that Irish whiskey? That there's a movie with John Wayne in it. Not the Irishman. It's the Quiet Man. Um, I've had the Quiet Man, like just cheap Irish whiskeys, and of course they're all made in the same distilleries and stuff. But I'm just not an Irish whiskey fan. They kind of all come out the same. So take from that what you will. Like I said, it was $27.69. Not terrible, not great. You could definitely blend it or mix it and do some stuff with it, but it definitely tastes like a grain alcohol in a tawny port barrel. So there you go. Drop in the comments down below what you can find a bottle of Ballyhoo for in your area. And if you've ever drank it, what your impressions of it are and what you think of it. And Anything else you have to say? Go ahead, drop that down in the comments down below. Now, today is Wednesday. I should have released a video today, but I unfortunately have not had an opportunity to make any videos because I've been out trying to seal the cracks in my driveway in all this heat. I also got a floor to rip out. I got to rip out all this tile and stuff, so I got a dumpster coming next week. I got to do all that, rip out some 500 square feet of tile and particle board, backer board that they got on there, and then man, I don't even know what I'm in for when I rip all that out. But basically, finish the second half of my first floor. We're ripping it all out and putting it in vinyl plank. I gotta do that, and I get up on the roof at some point here and seal and look at some of like my valleys and where my chimney and stuff come together, and do some patchwork up there. I got a million projects to do, and in 2 weeks I leave for El Camp, and I have not even started putting together all my camping gear and packing all that stuff and getting that stuff going. So I have a lot to do and not a lot of time to do it. So I'm not sure how many videos in the next month or so I'm going to get out until, gosh, even once I get back from El Camp. So after I get back from El Camp, my wife and I are going to North Dakota to pick up our new dog from my hunting partner. Her name will be Boonahaven. In fact, I got a picture of her. She is something. She'll be a great dog, I think. I think she'll fit right in with the likes of my previous dogs, Paco and Lacey. But let's see here. Let's see if I can find a good picture of Boonahaven. See if you can see that on the camera at all. Let's see, right there. There we go. That's going to be Boonahaven. She's a liver color pup. She's pretty cute. So, anyways, there you go. I'll see what I can do about getting some more videos out. Thanks for watching. I do greatly appreciate it. As always, drop in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good jazz. I've given up on YouTube at this point. I have the videos that I'm commenting on right now or that are being released right now, I shot a year ago, like June or July of 2022. And I have enough videos that I would have them set all the way out into like 2025 or 2026. But if you're watching this on BitChute, thanks for watching. I do greatly appreciate it. If you see this on YouTube, definitely jump over to BitChute because it's way better over there. And Rumble is kind of piggybacking off of BitChute, and that's just another channel I got. But as always, thanks for watching. You have yourselves a great day. We'll catch you in the next video.